I am a ordained minister, and I have been an ordained minister for every bit of 20 some years, and I'm an intuitive counselor, psychic, spirit medium. And when we say spirit medium, that means that I speak with the other side. And then when we say the other side, of course, those are family members and friends that have passed. Blue Feather is once more my guide. He's the one that gives me the symbols, the words, and then I go by my feelings. And he's been around with me for a long time. In fact, he has informed me that I have been a challenge. And I thought that was pretty special when he told me that. I had to sit and think, oh, and then when I did sit and think, I understood why I was a challenge to him, but it's all fun. So let me say, if anyone has a question or would like to call us just to ask a question or just tell us who you are, please call 813. Oh, we have a Sandy Williamson with us. Well, hello, Sandy. Thank you for being there. If you have a question, please call 813-814-1601. And I now have my phone beside me, which sometimes I usually forget. But tonight, no, I did not forget. So I have a very, very special guest. She's a good friend, and she is also Reverend Mary Moore, and she is an author, a workshop facilitator, an inspirational speaker with over 30 years of experience. And she has spoken before groups around the United States on healing the body, mind, and spirit. She is also a very good intuitive consultant and has been for over 30 years, assisting many with clarity about their lives and self empowerment. And Mary has a BA degree in religious studies from the University of South Florida and has been an ordained minister for 30 years. Mary Moore, how you doing, girl?
I'm doing great. How are you, Jana?
I am good, thank you. Where did you get ordained as a minister?
I'm I got ordained through a short program here. It was a 2-year night program,
Mm-hmm.
and it was through the Universal Church, I believe is the name of. I don't know why, Janet, but I always forget the
But that is okay. That's okay. I got ordained through Harmony Metaphysical Church.
name. Okay, yeah.
That's been 50, about 25 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
But the sad thing is, it no longer exists.
Oh,
Which
really?
no. And then the mother church was in Seminole, and that no longer exists. In fact, quite a bit of my studies that I've learned in all these years, they no longer function. So that's sad. But
Oh, I thought they were going to try to keep the classes going the last time I talked to her. So,
as in last time you talked to who?
I think her name was Nancy. She was the minister out there, and
Oh
she
no,
was.
she sold it.
Well,
I
she disbanded the church, but I thought she was going to try to keep classes going for a while. I didn't know if they were in her home or what, but anyway, I guess she's let everything go at this point.
No, wait a minute. You could be very correct. I just know of the church being gone. So if
The church
she,
is definitely gone. She sold it. I
okay,
talked to her after she sold it, but
okay, then perhaps she's going to be doing it in her home, classes in her home. Things are just starting to open up, and
mm-hmm.
that's definitely a good thing. So,
Yes,
um,
yes.
so I'm really glad, and I have a few questions to ask you today. So, are you ready?
Okay,
Are you ready?
let's rock and roll. Yes.
I'm ready. So now I know you wrote a book Please tell me the title.
The title of the book is A Pause That Rejuvenates. A
Oh,
Pause
there
That
you go.
Rejuvenates. And it's really just a book about, it's a book about just inspirational stories that have kind of lifted me up. It's stories I've told in my talks and in my workshops, and things that really like miracles, things that happen that shouldn't have happened, where you just feel the presence of God there, because it's like you kind of go, wow, how did that happen?
Mhm.
So it's those kind of stories. And then I talk about, we're body, mind, and soul. And so, just how do we do that? I feel like some people are so spiritual that they don't really work on their thoughts, and they don't work on their feelings. So they have a lot of grudges. And I've really worked with that on myself. And I did a consultation not too long ago, Janet, and somebody said at the end of the consultation, she said, "Where'd you get this information?" I said, "Well, Spirit really taught me, because I've tried to clean out my mind and get rid of the limited and negative thinking. I've tried to let go of my feelings that were hurtful. And so I've worked on myself in that way. So that's why I worked with you that way." Is
Okay.
someone calling?
Yeah, I think someone's calling. Let's see what it's about. Okay.
Okay.
Hello. Oh, Graham, how are you doing? Oh, God love your heart. I can't do an exact reading over the phone, but I can answer a question if you have one. Yes, I am. The question was, am I going to be in Jacksonville? So I have to tell everybody about Jacksonville. So you're watching my podcast, is that correct? Oh, you're looking good. Do you see you? Oh, okay. I am going to be in Jacksonville, so please, I'm looking forward to going. But do you have a question for tonight that I can answer, or do you want to wait till I get to Jacksonville? Okay, well, please enjoy my show, and I will be talking with you soon. In fact, I'll be talking with you next week. Oh, Graham, thank you for calling. Bye. I know so many nice people, Mary.
I know. It's a great business to be in. Just meet
Yeah,
more and more nice people, right?
it is, because when people are on the same, um, let me say, path, on the same path as we are, it makes it really nice when they, especially when they're very positive. And Graham, God love his heart, he's a reader also from England.
Oh, wow. Cool.
And when he asked me, was I going to be in Jacksonville? I will be in Jacksonville next weekend to do an event or an expo. So I'll be doing
Mhm.
readings 2 days.
Oh, cool.
So
Yes.
and I think he was telling me he wanted one.
It sounds like it.
So, but the good thing is, he says he's going to enjoy the rest of our show. So that's
Oh,
what's
good.
good.
That's good.
So I did not mean to interrupt you, but
That's
that's the
okay.
first time we've gotten really a phone call like that. So that was good. So now you're talking about your book, and is there, before I ask you my next question, is there more that you want to say, since you were rudely interrupted, but not really rudely?
Okay, so I think what I want to say, Janet, is that it's a book about inspirational stories that I hope will be helpful to people. It's stories that I've told in my talks and in my workshops. And it's, like I said, it's kind of miracle stories, things that shouldn't have been, where there was it felt like there was a divine force that intervened, and they inspired me. So I compiled them in a book. So that's what it's about.
Well, that's good, because I do a lot of writing, and I am in a writing class. And I do have one story in a book called Transform Your Life. And then I have another story that I wrote about COVID-19, which I have.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You told me about that. Go
Yeah,
ahead. Uh-huh.
I'll have to bring you a copy of the book because it's once more, both books are many authors and all of us had a story to tell. So, but the
Hmm.
fact that you're just one author with many stories is good. Okay. So, so now tell me, what was your purpose in writing your book?
Well, I see a lot of people, like I know some people, for example, and they're both retired and they're younger than I am, but they don't ever go anywhere. And I just feel like they just sit around and they feel so, I don't know. It's sad. It makes me sad to watch them live their lives, their retirement lives, because it's just a great time to be alive and to be active. And anyway, it feels very sad to me. And I hope that my book might inspire people to get up, to exercise, to eat healthier foods, to go out. And I mean, it's just a wonderful time. And especially after this COVID. I mean, my goodness, is it not time to go out and have fun?
Well,
Um,
yes, it is. And when you say work out, that's my favorite thing. But what I find really amazing, Mary, is a lot of the readings that I do. Just to let everyone know, I'm at the Bodhi Tree at the Citrus Park Mall, in the Carrollwood Citrus Park area. I just to talk with people. Exercising is so important. It
it
really
is.
is. It lets go of stress,
Mhm.
and then sometimes the girls that I do readings for, when I ask them, "Do you like to box?" And I talked to a girl today, God love her heart, a year ago, she was doing kickboxing. And I said to her, well, maybe you better get back to it. So, exercise is so important. And yes, COVID, I feel, has done a lot of damage, but, we just have to get over it and keep moving.
Yep.
And so, by the way, are you exercising?
Every morning, Janet, 5 days a week. And then
Okay.
I walk some too. So,
Oh,
yes.
good. That's good. I do too. I did manage 2 miles 2 days this week. I was,
Oh, good.
I know, I was supposed to go this morning and I texted her, sorry, I'm tired. So now, please tell me, how do you hope your book will help people?
Well, to get them off their rear end and get going, to enjoy life. I feel like this whole thing about COVID has been a time for us to reflect on what's really important.
Right.
And a time to be quiet and to be still, kind of forcing us to do that because we don't necessarily do that on our own.
No.
And so, with the opening that's happening, I feel like it's a cycle that apparently we had to go through, but now the gates are open and full speed ahead. I just feel that the whole world is our oyster. What do you want? You can have anything. Feel renewed and rejuvenated. I hope other people do too. And I hope my book gives some of that to people.
I'm sure that it will do that, Mary. And yes, there are still a lot of people that have fear in coming out, and there's still a lot of people wearing the mask, and even if though they
Mhm.
had the shot and everything, but
Right.
um, but hopefully by the end of the year we'll be almost back to normal, and next year being 2022 equals a six. 2022 equals a six. Do you know what a six means?
I think six means harmony. What do you know about it? Tell me about it.
It means balance, to focus
Ah,
and balance. A six is
okay.
balance. So hopefully next year things will be more balanced, and
Hmm.
everybody will be better straightened out with their homes and everything, and with
Mm-hmm.
their businesses, and we'll find a little bit of balance there. So
Mm-hmm.
now tell me, which is something I do a lot of. Tell me about your counseling work. I know we do it together when we go to the Temple of the Living God because we do a lot of readings.
We do.
So tell me about your counseling work.
Well, I don't know if you see this, Janet, but I feel like a lot of people have gone into specialties. I feel like there are people who specialize in communicating with the other side. There are people who can scan the physical body and tell you what's wrong with the physical body. When I first moved to St. Petersburg about 40, a little over 40 years ago, there were very few intuitive people. It was a big deal to be intuitive. And I feel like more and more people are opening, and those who have opened for the last 10 or 20 or 25 years are now, I see more specialties, like people specialize in different things.
Mm-hmm.
And it could be the health or, whatever. And so, anyway, I feel like mine is more about emotional and psychological evolution and development. And
Mm-hmm.
I feel like when I talk to people, I feel like that's how I'm most helpful to them.
And
And
that,
I can say things like, if you continue to think this way, this is what's going to happen. If you continue to hold that grudge, this is what's going to happen.
yeah.
So I feel like I've paid for everything I've ever done. And then I'm really a specialist on that.
I don't doubt that a little bit. I mean, but intuitive counseling is so important, and especially I feel in today's world. And I'm sure that you and I are quite similar because I'm in the now. So I'm trying
Right.
to help the people
Yep.
now to
Yep.
give them insight and confirmation. And I know that, or I feel that you do the same thing. And that's
Absolutely.
what's important. You really have to tell people to let go of their ego.
Yes.
So
Yes.
now tell me, what is ego to you?
Ego is that part of ourselves that I think we feel we have to survive. And I feel like what we're exploring as human beings right now is how to let go of that individual ego and what we think we need and surrender to a divine plan. Like, for example, that whole COVID thing, wasn't that a surrender? It was a
Well, it is.
surrender collectively. We didn't know how long it was going to last. We didn't know if any who was going to live or not at first when it all began. And so we just had to kind of surrender collectively. And I think that ego is like letting go of the little me and seeing about the whole. What is good for the whole of society?
Mhm.
Um, what's the best thing for all of us? So I don't know. I think that's the direction we're going in.
And I agree with you in a lot of ways. And people do need to let go of their ego so that they can let go of their fear and then move on. So hopefully, um, I know there's going to be a lot of big changes the rest of this year. I really
Hmm.
do. I
Hmm.
do I do counseling for people, Mary. I did one today, a girl. I mean, the younger people in today's world, I feel are so far advanced. They really are, a lot of them, and a lot of them are very intuitive and spiritual. So, okay, wait a minute. Graham says to find ourselves and sense of purpose has been amplified by the COVID period. How about that?
I think that's really true.
We can vouch for that part, I think, he says. I agree with you 100%, Graham, because everybody, I'm sure there's so many of us that have learned so much from COVID. And
Hmm.
Graham says, he's very glad for the changes.
Hmm.
I'm very glad for the changes too, but sometimes I feel the changes have not been the best.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think about the changes?
Well, I just try to surrender, Janet, for me personally, that there is a divine plan unfolding and to try to trust that divine plan and to feel that my part in it is to think positively and to be active in the world in a very positive way.
Mm-hmm.
And that from that vantage point, things will keep going in the direction that's good for all,
Mm-hmm.
rather than what I want or what I need or all that stuff that some people do. I try to see what's good for the whole and
Mm-hmm.
just really wish that for all of us very sincerely.
Right. And I really believe it will get to that. It's just going to take work
Mm-hmm.
on everybody's part, and that's it. That's important. Everybody needs to know that they need to make the changes and work with the people as best as they can.
Mm-hmm.
So yes. So now let me ask you this, please. Um, how do you work with people?
Well, I've been working a lot on the phone with people. I've been getting referrals by phone. And, I work so intuitively, Janet. I work so different on one person from another. But what I feel like is that inner guidance, is that intuition that
Mm-hmm.
tells me what that person needs. Someone called me and was having a health issue. And so we actually went back, and they're in their early 80s. And so, I said, I don't know if I can help you in any way for the rest of this lifetime. But I said, let's go to that root cause. Where did that happen? Where did that cause come from? And I said, let's try to really heal that so that you never have to come back to do that again. One
Mm-hmm.
of my spiritual teachers said, if the person that I see and pray for is not healed of cancer, I always pray that he be healed at a consciousness level. In other words, he doesn't have to come back and incarnate and live through that cancer again. Do you follow what I'm saying?
I do. I
So
do.
that's what I was trying to work with this person. She's like 83 years old, and I said, "We have nothing to lose. Let's go back to that core issue." And she went back to her childhood, and there was a time when her father, she was brought up by a German father, so he was very harsh, and she was oftentimes reprimanded for just silly little things. And anyway, we went back to that core issue. And I just took a picture of liquid love and poured it into those memories and into that. So, my answer to you, Janet, is I never know what I'm going to do. I am totally guided by spirit. I feel that the Archangel Raphael works with me in terms of healing with people. And when I'm talking to them, anytime, I oftentimes feel like I'm just focusing on healing, whatever the situation is. It doesn't emotionally, healing them mentally, healing their physical body. That's always my focus, is to try to help people and try to go to those root causes.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah. But that's important, and I understand what you're saying because forgiveness, that's a good word. Forgiveness. And it's not just forgiving others. It's forgiving yourself. And Graham just wrote, we are all the light workers. And yes, we are. And
mhm.
true, but the changes affect PPL individually and each work their own pathway in the plan. Okay, so that means we
That's
all
true.
do it the best way we know how. And Sandy Williams has come through and says she totally agrees with you, Mary.
Thank you,
So,
Sandy.
yes, and perfect answer, Reverend Mary, coming from Graham. This is just the way I work also. So,
Mhm.
yes, we do, and I do work with people similar, very similar. But I try to help people understand they have to make the decisions.
Absolutely. I always put everything I do back into the hands of the person. And I say, does that feel right to you? I want them to be empowered by their own soul. I don't want them to come to me and say, fix me. I'm not going to take that on. It's their soul is their job. I just can help along the way. If
Well,
they're
and that's very true. You know, we can only do so much. You
That's right.
know, one thing I always tell a lot of my clients is we do not make wrong decisions. We do exactly what we're supposed to do at the time. Now, do you
Mhm.
agree with that one?
I do. I feel like, well, one of my early teachers always said to me, a person does the very best that they can at that time. If they knew how to do better, they would do better. I think Maya Angelou and a lot of people have said that. I've had two teachers say that to me.
Yes.
So, yeah, I've always known that we are all doing the best we can in the present moment. If we knew how to do better, we'd do better.
That's exactly right. But you know, another thing that is very important is that we have to thank all the people that were in our lives as we were growing up, because if they hadn't have been who they were, we couldn't be who we are,
Nope.
you
They
know.
played, they played the perfect part in our life.
They did. But
Mhm.
sometimes I'd like to, when I leave the earth plane and I go back over there,
What plans have you got, Reverend Janet?
I'm going to let a few of them know what I think.
All right, all right.
But I think about my background. I think about my life, and I bet you do too, because the people that have been in my world have helped me make my world. Does that make sense?
Absolutely,
So,
absolutely.
so
I totally get it.
yeah. So now let me ask you a question. Are you, if someone were interested in buying your book, how do you want them to
Well,
get hold of you?
you can go to Amazon.com and buy it. And it's called A Pause That Refreshes by Reverend Mary Moore. Mary Moore. I didn't put Reverend on there. And I'll tell you why I didn't put Reverend. Because I think we're all reverends. I've gone to a grocery store and bought groceries, and I felt like someone helped me. I feel like everyone has a ministry.
Mhm.
Um, and I have been helped by so many people out there in so many different ways, everything from a flat tire to a soul retrieval.
That sounds like a good, that's really good. I like the part, the flat tire, because I've had two of them, and I had special help, and I did write stories about both flat tires. But those two
I,
didn't get in a book yet. So
okay, well, I'd like to read those stories. I bet they're good. But anyway, my point is, I think everybody has a ministry that wants to. I've had a lot of conversations with people out in the world, and I have a laugh or something that's so wonderful about that story, and I feel refreshed. And
mhm.
I feel like sometimes when you call yourself Reverend, people act like, well, she thinks she's so special. So I'm just Mary, and I don't know of any advantage to using Reverend unless you're on an airplane and there's a crisis and you can be helpful. Then I might walk up and say, I'm Reverend Mary Moore.
Well, now that's a good thought, and I don't always say Reverend, but it's on my card, and
Uh-huh.
and then my business card, and then if and when I advertise myself, I put Reverend out there, and
Mm-hmm.
people ask me, and if I am an ordained minister, I let them know, and
Sure.
so I mean, you know, it's all good. It's all on how that you want to do it.
Right. It's all in the moment about where you are and where you want to put that out.
That's right.
But anyway, they can get it on Amazon.com. It's called A Pause That Rejuvenates, and it's by Mary Moore, Moore.
All right. Now, if they want to get a hold of you, how can they do that?
Well, my telephone number is 813-300-7741. So please feel free to call me.
Okay. All right. Well, that is just fantastic. Now, let me ask you a question, please. Have you anything else that you would like to tell us?
Um, I am just so happy to have had this time to spend with you. I love you very much. You're a wonderful person. I know how many people you help, and I'm so happy you have this opportunity to speak to people in this way. You're so deserving of this, and I know many, many more opportunities are going to be coming your way because you're so enlightened and so caring and so nurturing, and you deserve all the good things that come your way.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that, Mary. I really do. So hopefully one day we'll be able to do our third psychic cruise, or I should say my third psychic cruise, and you could come on it or it to work.
Okay.
That sound like a good
Okay.
idea? Sound
It
like
sounds good.
okay. All right. Well, I am just so really very glad that you were able to join us tonight. And what are you're in the St. Pete area? Is that correct?
I'm in South Clearwater.
Oh,
North St. Pete, South Clearwater.
okay. So that's not really that far away. Are you getting rain by chance tonight?
No, no, we are not. Not tonight.
Oh God, it is pouring here. It is
Oh, okay.
pouring down rain and the lightning. And you know, I had a dinner arrangement yesterday with a very good close psychic friend of mine, which you might know. Do you know Reverend Kay Robinson?
I do. Yes.
Yes. Well, I had a dinner appointment with her last night at her house, and the rain and the lightning and everything yesterday, I didn't really want to go, but I did. I went, and I want
Oh,
you to,
good.
yes, but when I was going down 60, Route 60, I want you to know that lightning hit so hard. I about jumped out of the car. And then you know that the and then to watch the lightning is beautiful. It really is. But God love her, I got there and she didn't think I was going to make it, but I did. So we had a good dinner and good conversation.
That's good. That's good.
Yes, because she's another good psychic. Did you ever go to Camp Chesterfield?
I have never been there. No.
Have you heard about it?
Of course. Sure.
Okay, just making double sure. Yes, because
Yeah, sure.
that's where she's from. And I learned many classes. I took many classes there for about 2 years. So it's a campground that's every bit of 150 years old or more. And it's very different. So yes.
Yes, I know it is.
Yeah.
I
So
know.
now tell me a couple other places that you studied at, because that's one place I did study.
Well, I studied, I, as far as my intuitive development, I think that just gradually came. I studied with Reverend Julie here in St. Petersburg. I can't think of her last name right now. She's about 90 years old or 91.
Wow.
But I studied with Louise Hay. I studied in New York City for a year. That was more like a science of mind and clearing out the mind.
Yes.
So yeah, so I've studied a hodgepodge of different things, and I've kind of put it all together now at this time in my life. Julie Craig, I think that's her name, Reverend Julie Craig.
Well,
She was at the temple. She was at the Temple of Love and Healing.
Oh, okay. Well, hodgepodge, that word, that's how we've learned different places. But,
Yeah.
out of all the places that I've been to, Camp Chesterfield is my love. But I went to the Arthur Findlay College in England.
Oh, yes, you told me about that.
Yes, and that's where I learned how to trans-channel blue feather. So that was really pretty amazing. And I was there for a week. It was really some good study. It really was. Now, how
Mhm.
about Lilydale? Have you been there?
Mhm.
Have you been
I
there?
have not been there.
No.
Mm-mm.
Okay, that's another place.
No,
How about Casadega?
I've been there. Yes.
Okay, so
I've been there twice. Uh-huh. Yeah. That was
yeah,
good. Good
yeah.
experience.
Yes, it is. They do, or they did have some really good psychics there.
Right.
And that I thought that place was connected to Lilydale, and it is in a sense, but not like how I thought, because Lilydale is part of Casadega in New York.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, but it's not the same. It's similar too. So
Right. Right.
just
Mhm.
yeah, just to make that correct. So
Right.
all right, girl, we got about 4 minutes left. What else can you tell me?
Um, I think the spiritual journey is accelerating for all of us. I think there's going to be more and more opportunities to grow and to learn. And I see these young people and I feel like they get it just by osmosis without, like I, somebody will tell me something and I will have thought, I worked 2 years to get that concept and they worked 2 weeks and got it. It's just like everything is accelerating. So the opportunity to grow and learn and change and shift is just all there for us, just handed to us now, which
Yeah.
is so good. I feel like I was one of the pioneers that worked hard, but now it's so much easier for people and I'm happy for them.
Well, and I agree with you 100%. That's why I say a lot of times when I do readings for younger people, they are so tuned in at that age, and at that age, I was not that tuned in.
Right, right.
And then the girls that I work with at the Bodhi Tree, they're beautiful. They're only 20, 21 years old. And the spirituality and the mentality and the information that they all have in their head has blown me out. It's
Right.
it's stuff that, like you say, took us years to learn, and it just seems like they just know it automatically.
They know it automatically. And what I see is these young people aren't interested in sifting through some of that work that I read through and that sort of thing. And I don't care. I understand it, but it's almost like it comes to them automatically. They've automatically got it. And I would read books and try so hard to get it. And
Yeah.
now it's just there for them. And I'm so happy for them. I think that's great.
Well, I think it's beautiful too. I really do. So, and even with IT, as we call it, or the phone technology,
Hmm.
I just love it because I can go to one of the girls in the shop and say, "Excuse me, but would you clarify this a little bit more for me on my phone, as in Cash App?"
All
And
right.
and,
Right. I know. I know.
and
It's
she and I today, we changed the credit card on my phone so that it would go to the other bank and not the bank that I had it going to. And,
Oh, wow.
and I just told her, I just love you to death. Thank you. So I think that they grasp it much quicker than what we did.
Uh-huh. Absolutely.
I really do. Okay, sweetheart, once more, please tell everybody the phone number to get you by, and please give them the name of your book and tell them where to get it one more time.
Okay. My phone number is 813-300-7741. And my book is A Pause That Rejuvenates.
There you
And
go. Yeah,
And it is just a little inspirational book that you can open up and read anywhere in the book and get an inspirational thought as you throughout your day. Keep it beside your bed, on your coffee table, whatever. And it's just to inspire you in the moment,
oh,
which is the only moment there is, the present moment.
that's exactly right. And that's where we're supposedly to be, is to stay in the moment. So, Mary, thank you so much for being here tonight. I have
Well,
really enjoyed it.
me
So,
too.
everybody, if you would like to get a hold of me, I'm Reverend Janet Reynolds, and my phone number is 813-814-1601. And I love the way she has it up there. Call for your free reading.
Yeah.
I will say call for your free question, but maybe a free reading. Okay. And then my website is www.bluefeather.net. Okay. So thank you so very much for everything tonight, Mary. I really appreciate it. But I have to tell you one thing. I just need to tell you this. I hear about what you say about your angel that's around you. What was it? Angel Raphael?
Raphael. Uh-huh.
Yeah. But I just really need to tell you that I also feel Archangel Michael.
Oh, wow. Okay. Thank you so much.
I do, because the whole time that we've been talking, I just feel like he's around you and he does protect you. So I just would like to tell you that.
I feel protected. Thank you so much.
Okay, girl. Well, you just have a good evening and thank you for being here.
All right. Thank you. You have a great evening.
I will. Bye.
Bye bye.